Unique New York. Unique New York.
I will die alone. I will die alone. Hey, I'm Blake.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the Dark Thrillers episode of First Prize Films, the most depressing podcast where we each select a genre-specific movie separated by at least a decade, and we pit them against each other to find out which film was the coveted title of First Prize. Dave, what does that mean for us?
So it's like when a toddler tells a story.
Sure.
No one knows the point.
Nope.
Today we are diving into madness with these dark thrillers.
You bet we are.
I made Blake watch Nightcrawler, a movie about a man who is so passionate about catching crime he decides to create it.
Sometimes when there is no news, you gotta make the news. And Dave, I made you watch the 1993 film Falling Down, aka Angry White Guy the movie.
Facts.
So these are two interesting films.
Yes.
I love this genre, dark thrillers.
Yes,
right?
It's a nice peek inside your weird brain.
It is. It actually leaves me not looking good, the fact that I like these movies so much. But we're diving into some new territory. I love Nightcrawler, and I gotta know why you picked it.
Well, because it's dark, it's thrilling, and it makes me feel gross.
Yeah.
So
I love this movie. It's probably my favorite film that came out in 2014. I obsessively watch this movie.
Yeah, I do know that you love it a lot, and we're going to get into that for sure. Nightcrawler is one of those movies for me where I do really like it because it is one of those, it's just a brilliant film, and it makes you feel something
It's handled
gross.
so perfectly. It feels disgusting.
Yes.
There's so much to this film, and it floors me.
But I want to know why you picked Falling Down.
Well, actually, funny story / not funny story. I've never seen it, and I've heard of the movie. I know about it. Michael Douglas, it's a Joel Schumacher film.
Yeah.
He has brought us a lot of hard-hitting films like Lost Boys, Flatliners, 8mm, Batman and Robin, dark shit. Like some super dark shit. So.
Especially Batman and Robin.
Especially. Oh boy, that was my earliest entry into Joel Schumacher films. I didn't realize until after watching it, these films are really good to go together because not only are they both set in Los Angeles, but they work together because one's exclusively during the day and the other is almost all at night.
That's hilarious.
Also, fun little fact, they both have the same composer.
Do they really?
Yep, it's a James Newton Howard score.
Oh, that's
for both
hilarious. We picked a fucking doozy of a matchup here.
I know, it's kind of a swing, and we hit it out of the ballpark. I don't know.
There's a swing.
Give myself a lot of credit. Yeah. But I'm excited. Like, I think this is going to be a good matchup, and I don't know. I just want to get into it. I have so many things to say about both of these movies.
Yeah, let's stop crawling around the point and just fall right into it.
I do not accept that. I do not accept that.
What's happening?
Just get to it.
9207.
Movie 1, Nightcrawler, 2014.
All right, Dave, give me the synopsis of 2014's Nightcrawler.
Welcome to the seedy underworld of Los Angeles, where there's murder, shootings, death, destruction, and the news. One man is determined to do everything he can, not to stop crime, but to film all of it and sell the footage.
Stand-up guy. Real stand-up guy, this
Real
Lou.
morally stand-up man. So we open to some beautiful nighttime B-roll of Los Angeles, and I swear I'm not dying on the inside.
You'll get here eventually, Dave. We're counting down the moments until you arrive back in Los Angeles.
Anyway, then we meet our main character and slug that gained sentience, Louis Bloom, or Lou, played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Slug that gained sentience and tried to get a job.
It's true, so true. Speaking of jobs, he's actually in the middle of stealing. That's not a job. Anyway.
Wait.
He's stealing some fence, which is not a metaphor. He's literally stealing chain link fence when he's happened upon by a security guard.
That man's really into boundaries.
What are you doing out here? I'm lost. This is a restricted area.
And after Lou uses a 4th grade bear hug to take down the guard and steal his watch for some reason, Lou acts like he's on Pawn Stars and tries to negotiate a ridiculous price for his stolen metal stuff.
Yeah, because he has like fences and like hubcaps or something. He has like sewer drain covers.
Yes, manhole covers. I don't. Sure.
It's crazy. Also, he took down that guard, but Lou is built like me. Yeah. And if you're listening to this podcast, I'm not a very big guy, so...
We like to call Blake Beanpole behind the scenes.
Ouch.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Get a shot inside the car.
And on the way back to whatever rock he crawled out of, Lou stops to leer at a car accident like he's just discovered internet porn before talking to an adrenaline addict who moved on from chasing tornadoes, Joe, played by your favorite, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, that's my boy. I love Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, my friend.
Yeah.
Rest in paradise.
Rest in tornado paradise, my friend.
Oh. This is a weird scene, though, because Lou sees a car accident and just pulls over.
He just pulls over and just starts staring at it. And it's funny because this is how Lou finds out that, wow, you can really get paid to film someone's worst moments? Hook, meat, fish.
Sign me up, baby.
How about 800 in store credit?
What are you after?
A camcorder and a police scanner.
So the next day, Lou petty thefts and then barters his way into a police scanner and a camcorder.
Dude, Lou just steals this bike in Venice, and then he's riding it around in the shop. He's just like, oh, this thing's got 27 gears and blah, blah, blah. And, like, he's selling. Like, the way he talks is weird. It's like he's reciting a script.
It
but
really
in
is.
everyday life. Oh, it makes me feel gross.
Very
dude.
gross, yes.
What are you doing? Filming for TV. No, back away.
But, now that he has his camera, he starts filming everything like he's trying to get on the front page of World Star until he finally gets something worth filming, which is, let me check my notes here, shooting.
Dude, it's so fucked up. Can you imagine the balls you have to have as a human being, the lack of respect for human life, to literally see somebody who's gotten shot and just walk up to them with a fucking camera and point it at their face and say, hey, what's going on here? Or did you get shot? Where'd you get shot at? Who shot you? It's so weird.
Like I said, man, slug who gains sentience.
I'm Lou Bloom. I have some footage for sale.
What do you have?
Something I'm fairly certain you'll be very excited about.
So after just wandering into a news station like it's a farmer's market and meeting his new contractor, Nina, Lou sells his much closer to the bloody victim footage. But you know what? He gets something much more valuable than money. Information.
Oh, that he does.
Think of our newscast as a screaming woman running down the street with her throat cut.
Okay, well, we're just going to move right past that into Lou learning police codes montage.
That's something Lou can work with. He's like, screaming woman, dying of bloody, give me my camera. Sounds like a great day at work.
But actually, this montage thing is boring. Let's see what else Lou is up to.
Yeah, please.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Do you know Los Angeles?
Yeah, I grew up all around here.
Can you start tonight?
Doing what?
I run a successful TV news business.
I mean, I don't have a TV, but that sounds cool.
Congratulations, you're hired.
Okay.
Hey, look at that. He hired someone, or more accurately, manipulated our fallen on hard times, basically homeless guy Rick, into working for $30 a night, aka not enough for a full meal.
Dude, this is Riz Ahmed, and he's so good in this movie.
He's very good, yes.
He makes me so, his energy makes me so nervous, because he's so, skittish, and, we know Lou's gonna put him through the fucking ringer, because Lou talks like baby Patrick Bateman. It's like a Patrick Bateman origin story.
Yes. But you know what? Let's not get caught up on how Lou lies and all that stuff, because it's action time.
Oh, thank God. Let's do it.
Where are we going?
Made a mistake. It's the right 5 blocks back.
Ambulance left 2 minutes ago. You're a lifetime too late.
Sorry, it's half past action time.
Fuck you, Paxton.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Lou and Rick end up missing the action because Lou didn't realize he wasn't in the Fast and Furious and scared Rick into misreading his GPS, which is a fucking rookie mistake. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay because we have another crime scene to redeem ourselves with.
Oh, thank God.
It's over. Shot the place to shit.
Okay, so just because we missed the action doesn't mean we can't wander onto an active crime scene and get footage from inside the victim's house. If you want to catch crime, you have to commit crime. That's not a saying, is it?
That's Lou's saying. This is Lou's ethos, dude. I'm surprised he didn't steal any drugs he found or a couple $1 bills on the side table or something. Maybe a little change.
I don't know, man.
And how Lou has gotten here so quick. I know you mentioned some montages and stuff. It's been 2 months or something. And Lou is already putting himself in these awful situations and he's bringing the blood and guts to the news.
He totally is. But you know what time it is?
What time is it?
That's right, it's montage time. Sorry.
Hey!
Second montage time.
Yay! Hey! 2 A's.
We see Lou getting footage of crimes all over the city by just ignoring police lines as if there's speed limits on the highway, before we just cut to Lou's brand new muscle car.
Yeah.
So now he can actually Dominic Toretto his way to crime scenes.
About time.
Speaking
dude.
of.
Oh, no.
Can you tell me exactly what happened?
Will you get the camera out of my face? Get it out! I'm trying to talk to 911.
This one's a doozy, Blake. So Lou and Rick get to a fatal rollover crash before the cops, which means the muscle car is already paying for himself. when Lou lines up the shot, he realizes it's not quite blocked right. So he drags the dead guy like an inconveniently placed bloody rug to make the shot better.
And his face too was like I'm in it. I'm doing my thing.
Right.
Like, look at me. I'm making art.
Yeah, that's totally his thought process. And let's calm down, Blake, okay? Because the guy's already dead.
I want you running my second van. 2 crews, half the area to cover.
I feel like grabbing you by your ears right now and screaming in your face, I'm not fucking interested.
Ew. So after Lou turns down a job offer from currently going through tornado withdrawal with Joe, he and Nina are on a date that he threatened her to go on.
Okay, can I say something here too?
Yes.
We haven't talked too much about Nina. Nina wants that disgusting bloody stuff. Her news like directors and the people are like, we can't air this. And she's like, fuck it. We're airing these dead bodies on the news.
It's true.
I don't care what you say. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Nina sucks. Everybody in this movie sucks and I hate them.
So far.
Except Rick. I like Rick.
I was
He's
going
a
to
good
say, except
guy.
for Rick. I like Rick a lot.
I do like Rick. I'm Rick.
But you know what, Blake? This date is just so romantic.
I like the dark makeup on your eyes. I also like the way you smell.
Okay. So...
I'm using that on my next date.
So by romantic, I meant serial killery.
I love the way your head would look on my shelf.
Obviously, Nina is not into the fact that Lou is basically stalking her in real time.
Nope.
And turns down Lou's business-like proposition for a relationship. And Lou takes this pretty well, actually.
There's certain good things about being alone, but you can't have dinners like this or be physical with a person, outside a flirtationship.
Where are you going with this?
I want that with you. Like you want to keep your job and your health insurance.
Oh, God, sorry. I keep forgetting that Lou's a sociopath.
Dude,
Dolly.
no, you set him up for wins, and then every clip you play, he just biffs it.
He biffs it. You know how he biffs it now? He tries to threaten her into a relationship by being like, hey, I could take my footage elsewhere. And not only am I not sure if Nina buckles to his incel vibes, I'm not sure if I'll ever unclench from this cringe.
Everything in this movie makes me just tighten my muscles. Like, I need to go to a spa after I watch this movie every time. It's so gross, and it's so cringy and weird, and I feel bad every time I watch this movie.
Well, when am I gonna get my raise? That's reasonable, right?
Trying to leverage your salary in this economic environment is near impossible.
So after Rick tries to get a raise and Lou acts like a boomer refusing to raise minimum wage, they arrive too late to a plane crash that killed 5 fucking people. Yeah. And Tornado Joe really rubs it in.
Hey, brah, 5 fatals. I'm screaming out of the fucking sky. Mine. Exclusive. I'm banging.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but Nina is super pissed at Lou because all he got for the night was a car crash and a stabbing.
Yeah, and goddamn Corona. Nobody cares about Corona.
No, it is definitely not worth the fucking that happened or didn't happen. I don't know. It is. Because I guess Lou isn't handling it all that well, because the next day we see him crawl out from under Tornado Joe's van, hiding something into his back of his pants. But then we just cut to that night where after Lou once again scares the shit out of Rick with his Toretto-esque driving, Rick realizes what they're driving to.
This is harrowing.
Yes.
Oh, fuck me, oh God, that's the fucking mayhem van.
That's right, Blake. Lou decided it's time to create his own news, also known as committing a crime.
And fucking killing Joe almost.
Yeah, because you guessed it. He cut Tornado Joe's brakes and filmed the aftermath.
Oh, God.
A lot of things can be said about Lou, but you can't say he's not a go-getter.
Boy ain't a quitter. He's like a shitty Batman.
He's like reverse Batman.
Joe sucks too, by the way, to be very clear.
Yeah.
But Joe looks up and he's in his neck brace and he looks up and sees a camera and looks down and there's Lou looking him right in the fucking face with the coldest, deadest eyes I've ever seen.
Dude, I'm telling you. But we don't have time to dwell on the criminality, Blake.
No.
Because there's more crime to get to.
More crime.
Lou and Rick get to an armed home invasion before the police, thanks again to the sweet, sweet American muscle. And not only does Lou catch the perpetrators leaving the house and their license plate, but he immediately calls the cops to let them know what kind of vehicle and plate number.
Oh.
What's that? That's not what he does?
No, not even close.
What is going on? We're leaving. What?
That's right. Lou films the perps getting away, goes inside and films all 3 dead, bloody bodies, leaves, and goes straight to the news station. Duh. Hey, quick question. At what point does sociopath become psychopath?
Dude, literally, he's just like wandering around the house filming all the dead bodies. He even comes across a guy who is still alive. He's like making gurgling sounds, and he zooms in on his body.
Ridiculous.
And I'm, oh, dude, this is so awful and disgusting. And I'd say this, Dave, is exactly when he turns from sociopath to psychopath.
Yes, and you know, it's funny you say that because Nina has the same question that I had, which is, when does sociopath become psychopath?
Jesus, is there a dead baby inside of there?
No, the crib was empty.
How much?
Oh my God. She sees an active murder basically on camera, and she goes, name your price. I'm putting this on the airwaves.
As it turns out, Nina's a piece of shit too.
Dude, fuck Nina.
And here I thought she was the model of journalistic integrity.
You were wrong.
Sure
Sorry.
was. Anyway, Lou and Nina go back and forth, and Lou leverages the fact that the killers are on the loose. It doesn't matter that he let them go.
No.
Just give him the money.
Dude, he's playing Shark Tank with Nina, essentially. It's crazy.
But not only give him the money, give him connections and credit and a meet and greet. Just a couple of small things. No big deal.
Oh, he also has a name for his company now.
He does. It's ridiculous.
It's a really dumb name.
Lisa Mays, Ben Waterman, Lou Bloom. You remember Lou from the Benedict Canyon crash.
Amazing stuff, huh?
That was my company, Video Production News.
Okay, quick side note.
Yeah.
We did find out that Nina did fuck him, but it felt gross and I don't want to talk about it. And then...
Thank you.
And then the breaking news segment plays the footage live on air, and Lou watches with a huge smile, otherwise known as a psychopath erection.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the reporter on scene lets us know that the cops, they're not stoked about the video.
No, they see Lou's mouth boner, and they're like, we got to talk to this guy.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Detective Fanieri. This is my partner, Detective Lieberman.
So the next day, 2 detectives show up to see Lou's sociopathic tendencies in all its glory. Sorry, I meant slimy disgust. And he, of course, lies about the footage because, listen, he's going to break this thing wide open. I really think Lou's turning a corner here.
Yeah, no, we know he's lying. We know Lou sucks.
Just listen, let's not dwell on it. Let's just, Rick, get in the car.
Yeah, we got to go.
I'm promoting you to Executive Vice President of Video News.
Does it come with a raise?
This scene makes me feel so gross and angry.
Yeah.
Because I really like Rick.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is, once Lou has manipulated Rick into lowballing himself on his own raise,
Yeah.
they find the murderer's SUV. Now, keep your pants on. Lou wants to follow them to a populated area to film the arrest. And not only that, Lou and Rick start threatening each other over money before Lou ultimately concedes. See? He's turning a corner.
Oh, it's so rough. It's so hard to see. And you know, Lou, and based on his anger and stuff like that, what we see earlier, you know, he's just internalizing all this stuff. And like, oh, he's a powder keg, dude.
Oh my God.
Rise and shine. He's leaving.
So Lou and Rick follow the murderers all over the city before they get a hankering for Chinese food and end up at a Chinatown Express restaurant where Lou finally calls 911 and tells Rick to go get a second angle of the arrest.
I'm not doing it. I'm not getting out the car.
What if I was obliged to hurt you for something like this?
So once Lou gently persuades Rick to get out of the goddamn car and both of them start to film the arrest from both angles, the police finally show up and the murderers, they don't take too kindly to it.
No, they don't. They have a gun.
They sure do. And a gunfight breaks out where a cop gets hit, some innocent bystanders get caught and killed in the crossfire, and one of the murderers gets killed. But the other one is able to hop into the SUV, and now it's a fucking car chase. Lucky for us, though, we have Louis Toretto behind the wheel.
Dude, Lou is having the best day of his fucking life.
I'm telling
and
you.
Rick is like, buddy, do we have to do this? This is fucked up, man. He's like Morty.
Yeah, it's definitely you for sure. Rick is so scared because Lou is following the action like a Karen who's late for work in the far left lane and everybody's already doing 80.
Lou's driving like a soccer mom trying to get down 75 and get her kids to fucking practice on time. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
No.
But she's going to do it, goddammit. And she's going to make sure you flip your car so she can get there.
Right. And that's exactly how the murderer is driving too, because he is ramming cop cars and flipping them before he ultimately flips and wrecks too. And Lou and Rick immediately hop into action.
He's dead. Get this shot.
Holy fucking shit. Lou so desperately didn't want to give Rick that well-earned raise that he let him get right up close to the SUV where the driver is still alive and murders poor Rick.
Shoots him a bunch.
And then the driver gets out and stares at Lou before... The police finally kill the remaining murderer, and now Lou finally has his conscience show up, and he approaches Rick to help him.
You saw him.
I can't jeopardize my company's success to retain an untrustworthy employee.
Oh, that's right. Sociopaths don't have consciences.
Dude, I was hoping this guy was going to get out of the car after shooting Rick and just start firing at Lou, because Lou's standing there with a camera actively filming him, and he doesn't.
No.
He's like, no, this guy, him and me, we're just out here trying to make some money.
Oh, yeah, they're totally on the same wavelength. Because Lou lets Rick die before taking his camera because your boy's got to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
But first... I guess Nina falls in love with Lou over this footage. I'm not really sure what's happening here.
Wasn't that your partner?
As a matter of fact, that's him.
Oh, I'm floored. I mean, it's amazing.
She's getting a lady boner, and I don't understand why.
I think she's gonna fucking willingly this time.
Don't.
LAPD, major case. Pull the footage from these screens. Run it up. Let's go.
Unless you have a judge's order, we're going within 4 minutes.
So not only does the LAPD show up, but Nina's employee, who's got to stick up his ass every time that Lou brings footage, tells her that they found drugs in the murder house. And Nina's like, we'll wait till tomorrow. It detracts from the rich white people victim story. And holy shit, she has fallen in love with Lou.
Dude, it's like, oh, she's the things people do. This industry sucks. I know this is like an extreme version of things, but it feels so bad. Like I said in the beginning of this, I hate everybody.
Yes.
Except Rick. Love you, Rick.
Love you, Rick.
Rest in peace.
Would you tell me how it is you were at the Chinatown Express tonight and call the 911?
Okay, so the detective has Lou in an interrogation room, and Lou weaves the craziest yarn, or however that phrase goes. And he basically says that the murderers were chasing him because they found him because of the footage that he had, but he evaded them and then followed them to the restaurant because they just gave up on chasing him.
They were hungry. We gotta eat.
And clearly, the detective is not buying his shit, just like we aren't. And and she arrests him, right?
Congratulations. Your selection by Video Production News is evidence of the hiring committee's recognition of your employment history and unique personal qualities.
Nope. The real bad guy of this whole story gets away with all of it and is able to expand his businesses with 3 employees in 2 vans. Roll credits.
They even have matching polos at the end.
They look like the Geek Squad.
It's like the fucking American dream run amok, dude.
I mean,
it is unbelievable. I couldn't believe when this movie ended. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is the most bonkers thing I've seen in forever. It's
crazy.
So disgusting. Because people like this get ahead. Like I said, with the Patrick Bateman thing, it's like, these kind of people have no soul, no conscience. The economy, capitalism is soulless.
So
and
true.
you will succeed if you are like Lou.
I think the moment that perfectly personifies Lou by his own actions is when he's trying to get a job in that first 5 minutes from the scrapyard guy. And the guy's like, I don't hire fucking thieves. And he makes this face where he's like, that's a good point, you know? He's
like a smile, like, yeah, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. He's like, I'm learning.
This movie blows me away every time I watch it, and I've seen it multiple times. It's just, it's so gross. And every time Jake Gyllenhaal's on screen, he just looks slimy, and it's
he looks awful, and just it's so uncomfortable the whole time. But it's such a great character study.
Oh
it's
my
so
God,
compelling. And I have a fun little story too.
Sure.
You know the final scene when Lou walks out of the police station right before the van stuff? I was there that day when they filmed that.
Nuh-uh.
Because I worked, you can see my office building in that final shot when it turns to look up the street. There's my office building. I was trying to get to work and all the streets were fucking closed. And so I'm like, what is going on? And so I walk up and I walk onto the street. I'm like, excuse me, what is happening here? And the guy's like, oh, we're filming a movie. And I'm like, okay. Oh, cool. We're actually really? I sound mad, but now I'm interested. And sure enough, I saw Jake Gyllenhaal's trailer and all this stuff. I was like, oh, cool. So I was late to work, but I was there for this day.
Worth it. That's crazy. So you were in Nightcrawler.
I was in Nightcrawler,
I knew it.
basically.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you scroll down to the very end of the credits, annoying local, there I am. Impatient traffic guy is my credit. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. I'm not saying I bring a lot of gravitas and credibility to this podcast, but I kind of do. And that's perfectly evidenced by this film.
Exactly.
You're welcome, fans of mine.
Just of yours.
Loving, adoring listeners and fans.
Just of yours, though.
Who send me fan mails. Do you guys like me?
Speaking of you, let's get into your movie. I want to go ahead and talk about Falling Down now.
Okay, I do too, actually. Let's get into this.
All right, let's do it.
Movie 2, Falling Down, 1993.
Let's go on the more lighthearted trip down memory lane with Falling Down.
The whimsical, fun family film, Falling Down.
Yes, let's get the synopsis for Falling Down, 1993.
When a deranged man with an embarrassing haircut finally snaps, he'll plot his way across Los Angeles on a mission to intimidate his ex-wife, all while threatening and killing people for increasingly minor inconveniences along the way.
Oh, it really is a Karen origin story.
It's fucking awful. So we open to our main character, Bill Foster, played by Michael Douglas, who looks like he just teleported out of a 50s coffee commercial into 90s Los Angeles. It's wild. He's sporting like a flat top haircut with a white like button up shirt and those glasses that like dads who had a drinking problem definitely wore.
Oh, God, yes.
You know the ones.
I do. What?
Anyway, Bill is stuck in highway traffic downtown, and he's getting real anxious, you know. He's in his broke-ass car that has a vanity license plate. It says Defense, D/FENS. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
He's perpetually at a football game.
That's what my mind immediately goes to football, but he looks like he's just late for his bowling league or something.
What's defense at bowling? Is it scuffing someone's shoes, or
I think it's called bocce ball. But when Bill's anxiety gets to be too much for him sitting in traffic, he bails. He just gets out of his car on the highway and walks away so he can go home.
Dude, this man is my new hero because he's just like, you know what, I'm done with this traffic, and just leaves his fucking car. Like,
I know.
Nope.
I thought about this too when I was watching. I was like, you know what? I didn't pay much for my car. I own it outright. At any point, if things get too much, I'm just going to walk away from it. Just going to get out and fucking leave it there.
Where do you think you're going? Going home. Hey! Hey!
Okay, I'm no cartographer, to be very clear. But part of me thinks it would be a little bit quicker to just wait in traffic than to walk 15 miles home.
Well, when you have a mental breakdown, you should know.
I was like, I didn't know if you're going to finish that. When you have a mental breakdown, I'm like, yeah, actually. But you know who else is in traffic?
Oh.
A police sergeant, in fact, named Prendergast. A crunchy kind of name.
I don't like the name.
To be clear. Played by Robert Duvall. It's literally his last day on the job, and he helps a traffic cop push Bill's abandoned car out of traffic.
Prendergast, downtown robbery. You're lucky you caught me today.
I am.
Yeah, today's my last day as a cop.
No one asked. Prendergast, but cool.
I didn't know we cared.
And thanks for the setup, but we got to move to a smellier part of town. A little part of town I like to call home, Venice Beach.
Ooh, yes.
A woman named Beth, played by Barbara Hershey, she gets a phone call.
Hey, wait, Tucker, hello? Hello?
It's Bill calling, but he doesn't say anything.
He just breathes.
Yeah, and honestly, based solely on the fact that he looks like a makeup brush with glasses on, I'd venture to say their relationship probably isn't in a good place.
Probably not.
But we're moving on because things get super racist super quick.
Oh my
when
God.
Bill, he needs more money to breathe into phones, I guess. So he's got to break a $1 bill. So he goes into a Korean-owned market and he has to purchase a can of Coke to get his change.
85 cents. That doesn't give me enough money for the phone call. I'll give you 50 cents, you give me 50 cents change.
That's not how it works, Bill. That's not how it works at all. If you need to haggle over a soda, then you have way bigger problems than free market capitalism right now, my friend.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, this quick side story, this reminds me of a time I used to work at Walgreens in college, you know? This guy came in and tried to give us a 5-pound bag of rice in exchange for some Rogaine and bacon.
The fuck?
Like, bro, this isn't a swap meet. You got to give us money. What the fuck, dude?
That's a very Blake thing to happen.
What is this? The last stand on Fiji? Just standing up for my rights as a consumer.
But we're back in the market, and things are getting a little out of hand here. Bill uses the shopkeeper's bat. Like, this guy has a bat to keep himself safe, I guess. He takes the bat, and he uses it to destroy the store for the minor inconvenience of overpriced snack foods.
Yeah, this dude is really passionate about inflation.
Like, fast forward 30 years, and your head would explode off of your shoulders, bro. It's insane, but he gives the man 50 cents for the soda, and then dips out of there with the bat. So when Bill tries to call Beth back, he gets a busy signal and decides instead to have a little sit in an empty lot on the remains of some concrete stairs.
Sure.
I guess.
I mean...
Why pick this spot?
Because it's on the way.
There's a million benches. He had to, like, walk up a hill and probably get through a fence.
Listen, a man who's going to destroy a shop over a 35-cent disagreement is not going to be comfortable on a bench. Okay.
He's like, look at that chunk of concrete in a place that looks like it smells like dog piss. I'm going to go sit there. Like, this dude is looking for trouble. And of course, Bill finds it. He finds it in 2 gang members that try to rob him.
This is not going to go well for Bill, is it?
Motherfucker, give us your motherfucking briefcase. You couldn't let a man sit here for 5 minutes and take a rest on your precious piece of shit hill?
Drunk on power from his market encounter, Bill beats these 2 men with the snub-nosed baseball bat he stole.
I mean, I guess it's not going to go well for the gang members instead.
No, he even steals one of their butterfly knives, too.
Yeah, he's definitely trading up for the weapons department.
He really is. Bill looks like a door-to-door vacuum salesman, but he must be, like, pretty jacked under his cotton shirt, dude.
I guess.
It's crazy.
Okay, Mr. Lee, let's just start off with what he looked like.
White man, white shirt, tie.
So, you remember Prendergast, right? The sergeant?
I hate the name, yes.
Well, the owner of the market that got wrecked gives a statement to Prendergast about the assault.
Yeah.
This starts the wheels of justice turning. Nope, this starts the wheels of indifference turning. Nobody gives a fuck about this guy.
Not a single person.
And while that's going on, Bill gets through to his ex-wife, Beth, on the payphone. And this time it's going to go good. I promise.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's me.
You gotta stop calling me.
It's Adele's birthday.
Yes, I know it's her birthday. What do you want?
I'm coming home.
Oh, you're not coming here.
So Bill wants to go to his ex-wife's house for his daughter's birthday, and he thought the best way to get there was to abandon his car, trash a market, and beat up some gang members.
It's the least efficient. I don't remember the phrase.
It's all going bad. But here's the thing. Those gang members, they're not going to let this 1950 CPA fuck with them.
No, they're not.
He's not going to get away with this. The gang members see Bill talking on the payphone to Beth, so they load an entire clip on his ass when they drive by, and they hit every person on the street except for Bill. How does this happen?
It's like they literally like...
I laughed so hard. They're like the Kids Bop version of gangsters, dude. I couldn't believe it. And they're not just bad at shooting people. They're garbage at driving, too, because they wreck their car immediately.
These guys are the... of gang members.
They really are. Bill has some words for him, too.
You missed. Take some shooting lessons, asshole.
I guess fully automatic Jesus was looking down on Bill that day. He just walks up to their car wreck and he talks shit to them, and then he steals a giant bag full of guns. Like, I guess all gangsters have a giant duffel bag full of guns.
You know what Bill's doing? He's doing that thing where he starts with a paperclip and ends up with a Lamborghini.
Yeah, dude, and he's gonna have a real knee slapper of a story when he gets to his daughter's party tonight.
You have a restraining order against your husband?
Ex-husband. The thing is, he has this horrendous temper, and I just didn't know if a restraining order was a good idea. I mean, if it would do more harm than good.
So Beth obviously calls the cops because Bill is unhinged, and they do... Sorry, hold on. They do nothing. They do literally nothing to help her. They give her a pat on the back and say, "Good luck, bitch. I hope you don't die." It's
Cops
fucking
are
wild.
not helpful?
Not in the least, especially the Pacific Division. I can vouch for this myself. And across town, Bill deals with the most unrealistic beggar I've ever seen him in the park in my life before walking into a fast food place. Man's all sunshine and rainbows until he realized, Dave, they stopped serving breakfast.
Oh, no. Is he going to mess with fast food workers?
Listen, all I'm saying is thank God that Bill has a giant bag of guns to motivate these minimum wage employees.
I want breakfast. I'm really sorry. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
Listen, I couldn't focus on anything in this scene other than the fact that, is Sheila crushing on him right now?
Sheila, to be clear, is one of the ladies behind the counter at the fast food restaurant.
And she's looking at him like this.
She's giving him googly eyes a little bit.
You must really hate your job if the dude that comes in with guns and just accidentally fires off into the roof, and you're like, I kind of want to fuck this guy.
He's kind of hot, though. Right?
That flat top is really doing it for me.
I could bounce a fucking quarter off of that thing. But in Bill's defense here, Dave, a few hash browns can go a long way. The man has 12 more miles to walk, and he needs some fuel, so I'm giving him a little slack on this
You're
one.
right. He's just hangry. That's all.
It's true. And he better get walking quick because Prendergast overhears a witness from the gang shooting turned self-own, earlier. Prendergast realizes something.
What does this guy look like?
I don't know. He looked like you, except he was taller and he had hair.
Did he wear a white shirt and tie?
Prendergast starts to realize that a photo of somebody's racist grandpa came to life and started doling out vigilante justice in the city, and he's got to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Even though it is his last day on the force, and his wife is nagging at him to just leave.
Dude, she is a caricature with all the nagging.
Oh, God, yeah. There's like a whole storyline between Prendergast and his wife and stuff, but I don't give a shit about it.
No, me neither.
Why'd you do that?
I'm not gonna turn you in. I'm your friend.
So Bill ducks the cops in an army surplus store that happens to be run by a literal Nazi, Dave. This is the part of the movie where we have to distinguish Bill's hatred of poor people and minorities with the Nazis' hatred of poor people and minorities. Wait.
Oh, wait a minute. Those feel similar. Bill's a Nazi.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
We're the same, don't you see?
We are not the same. I'm an American. You're a sick asshole.
You're both sick assholes,
Yes.
but I'm not here to split hairs because we have a plot to get to.
Feels good to exercise your rights, doesn't it?
So Bill kills the Nazi, dresses up as a thrift store soldier, and takes a Nazi bazooka with him out onto the streets.
I mean, listen, at this point, if a Nazi's protecting you, maybe turn yourself in.
Yeah, at least he killed him, but also Bill's kind of a Nazi a little bit.
He's a little bit of a Nazi.
Somebody in a white shirt and tie gunned down a phone booth 3 blocks from the Whammy Burger.
Right about here. Right?
Yeah, how did you know?
So with the exception of his coworker Sandra, everyone at the precinct is mercilessly making fun of Prendergast for trying to do his job on his last day, which I have to admit is embarrassing. Like, caring about stuff is very passé for the cops, but he's putting this case together anyway. He's a hero with a stupid name, but a hero regardless.
The mouthfeel on it is really bad.
But Prendergast also discovers that the Korean market, from the beginning that got trashed, it's right over the hill from where Bill abandoned his car that morning.
I know who this guy is. He had this personalized license plate. What the hell was it? It was weird. It said, defense. He said he was on his way home. Go check out his address.
Finally, we get a lead in this fucking case.
About goddamn time.
While Sandra pulls up the info on the car, Bill's abandoned car, right? Our toy soldier Billy Boy takes to a construction site on the street and blows it up with the Nazi bazooka.
we are not going to blow past the fact that a literal child helps him figure out how to fire the fucking bazooka.
That is true. A child helped him. A child on the streets helped him fire the bazooka because they thought they were in a movie.
Oh.
And this is the way the movie tries to be like, see, he's not a total fucking racist. He talks to this black kid. And I'm like, no, I'm not letting you off the hook, movie.
Listen.
Bill sucks.
That's a very valid point, but all I can think of is, this is Blake. This little kid is Blake.
That's a whole lot of explosives. Here, let me help you light the wick. I got it. Don't even worry, buddy. You're going into this bank over here? Don't even worry. I can drive you somewhere. I'll just wait right here. And when you come out of the bank, I'll just hop right in the car. No worries, buddy.
I got nothing to do all day.
Here to help. So thanks to Bill, that road is not going to be closed for 5 hours. It's going to be closed for 5 months, and they're going to have to bury people. So thanks, dude. You fucked yourself on that one. He goes on to give an old golfer a heart attack and then hides out in like a rich doctor's pool house. This is exhausting. I'm tired.
Dude, can you just get a taxi?
Something. He even tried to get on the bus once, but it was like too crowded, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not getting on the bus."
Two people are bumping into me. Fucking
a snowflake. But meanwhile, Prendergast and Sandra, they stop by Bill's mom's house, and she has some insight about who Bill is and what his origins are. A real Bill origin tale. We're getting into it.
Sure.
What's he been doing lately?
He's building important things to protect us from the communists. He works at NOTEC.
The defense plant. Defense.
What we find out is that Bill is obviously divorced.
Yeah.
He was fired from his defense plant job from the government, and it's presumed today is the day he finally snapped. He's on his way to his wife's house to finish things off.
Ugh.
Not finish himself off. He can do that anywhere.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I know
Glad
it's
we're on the same page.
confusing
No,
word.
thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Great.
Hello?
Sugar, you know what they did? They turned our ice cream parlor into some kind of Southwest American New Age kind of thing. Can you believe that, Elizabeth? Can you believe it?
Somehow, Bill teleported the rest of the way to Venice. He calls Beth, his ex, on the phone, and she takes off running with her daughter in tow. Where they're running, who knows, Dave? I have no idea. But also, why didn't Bill just show up at the house instead of calling his ex to give her time to run away?
Because he's getting off on scaring her. That's what psychopaths do.
Good point.
But more importantly, why did Elizabeth leave the fucking dog?
I mean, fuck that dog. I'm kidding. I like the dog. I'm kidding.
I can't.
Please don't leave. No, we're almost done.
You're lucky I'm a cat person.
I'll answer it to ex-wife. You send the cavalry?
No, Pacific Division of pricks. What do you want to do?
Go to Venice. Let's go.
Said nobody ever.
Fucking no, right? But Prendergast and Sandra roll up to Beth's house in Venice as Bill hangs out and watches old videotape of him being a dickhead, I guess.
Jesus, see, it's very, very masturbatory. He's like, God, remember how dicky I used to be?
Right? It's so bizarre. Like, he doesn't even have the realization that, like, oh man, maybe I'm the one who's a dummy.
Well, it's funny you say that because I thought he was having that realization. I'm like, oh, he gets it. And then, no, he just realizes where her favorite place is. And now he goes to try and kill her.
Yeah, it was a red herring. He just likes to see himself on tape, I guess, because he realizes his wife is probably at the Venice Pier. So when Sandra and Prendergast come in, he shoots Sandra and he takes off. And we got a running montage, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that.
I hate cardio. Not to dox myself here, but this all takes place pretty close to my apartment, and it's really cool to see how it looked 30 years ago. It's just as dirty and depraved as ever, man.
Things, the best things never change.
I got stabbed yesterday.
Daddy, Mommy, look, Daddy!
So Bill catches up to Beth and his daughter on the pier mid-hot dog, and I gotta say, you're running from your lunatic ex-husband who has threatened you, and the first thing you do is go to a very public place and buy a hot dog? Does she not have friends in this neighborhood?
No.
Like, couldn't she have gone to a restaurant and called the cops or something? Bill sat watching VHS tapes forever. You had time.
Don't you know what they always say, Blake? You running from somebody, get a hot dog.
I want to be clear. I'm not victim blaming Beth. I'm just saying her hot dog craving is very poorly timed, and I think you can agree with that.
Oh, yes. To be fair, though,
what?
It's the daughter's craving.
Is it?
Yeah. So reason 968 not to have kids.
Woo!
this?
I guess no one in this movie can curb their cravings because Prendergast shows up eating some popcorn on the pier, and he reveals his backstory of having lost his daughter, and then he pulls a gun on Bill. Bill's cornered on the pier now.
Totally cornered, except for just jump off.
We'll get there.
Now let's go meet some nice policemen. They're good guys. Come on, let's go.
I'm the bad guy?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
My first guess is that you stopped taking your medication, Bill. Like, it's crazy.
It's very crazy. But to be honest, just for that moment, I felt for Bill a little bit.
Did you?
I felt for him because, like, he legitimately was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to run with it.
No, you have a good point. Obviously, I'm making jokes, but you do see that thing in his face. There's just that, I don't know, I guess he thought, like, killing people all across Los Angeles was, like, fine. He felt justified because he saved 38 cents on this soda.
I'm telling you.
But Bill does go on to complain about how he, quote, did everything they told me to. And I guess no one ever told him to be, like, a good person. So that's their fault?
Yes, you got to instruct him.
He just needs very specific directions.
He needs to be micromanaged.
He does, dude. And Prendergast tries to talk him down, but it's not working. Bill's made up his mind.
Let's go!
Bill essentially challenges Prendergast to a duel and loses because he pulled out a squirt gun, which is not a joke. He actually pulls out a squirt gun.
He really does. And now not only is Prendergast, I hate saying it, not only is the cop not going to retire, he's probably going to get a raise.
But yes, Bill decides to suicide by cop and takes the bullet and then takes a dive into the ocean. He's dead, and Prendergast is out of there. He's got some popcorn to finish.
Yes.
Not to denigrate the Venice Police Department, but it was one of our fellas that put this thing together. Damn fine work, Prendergast.
Fuck you, Captain Yardley. Fuck you very much.
God, what a way to retire. A fuck you to the boss on live TV. I think I have a boner.
Yeah. What? So, a couple of wrap-up things here. Beth never finished her hot dog. Prendergast talks shit to his police captain on camera with the news like we just saw. Sandra, remember her?
Oh, yeah.
She survives her gunshot wound, and Bill's daughter still gets to have her birthday party that night. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Bill and that Nazi.
Good.
And the people he assaulted.
Oh.
And everybody whose lives are ruined because of the horrible mental damage of being in a hostage situation.
Well, you know, I think one person probably did come out on top here.
Who?
Sheila, because she's definitely diddling herself later to that.
Hey! Sheila's going to get off to this for months, dog. God bless her.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Roll credits. This movie was kind of wild.
It was super wild. Like, they really tried to poke at some things that we all kind of feel a little bit, but we're not psychopaths.
Yeah, I have more on that later, but it's definitely speaking to a certain generation. But I honestly didn't know what to expect going into this movie.
No, me neither.
I really, really liked it. I wasn't sure exactly what it's trying to say at the beginning, and it made me nervous. But I think it was a compelling and scary look into the psyche of a broken man from a bygone generation.
Oh my God. It literally felt like we were staring into the fantasies of every boomer.
Yes, exactly, dude. I couldn't freaking believe it. It's just, and you still see this stuff today, man.
Yes.
This movie is literally 30 years old this year. It's 2023, and nothing's changed.
Not a goddamn thing.
But both two very harrowing films that made me feel fucking icky, to be completely honest with you.
I'm definitely going to need a shower after this, but unlike Sheila, I'm not going to be playing with myself during it.
I'm going to go get a hot dog.
Actually, me too. It's going to help in the shower. What?
What? Taking an extra long one tonight, boys.
Yes. And a long shower.
Movie versus movie. Welcome to the Thunderdome. This place fucking rules.
All right, Dave, we're back in the Thunderdome, and I have the ACLU on speed dial now.
Yeah, and I just got back from the news station. I did not sell anything illegal.
Doubt it. But before we watch these movies, Dave, you and we decide on 5 things that we both agree make a good genre movie. In this case, dark thrillers. So let's go through them.
Let's do it.
Number 1, we need a morally complicated main character.
Wrong, right? Who knows?
Number 2, we need a dark subject matter.
I am thoroughly uncomfortable.
Number 3, we need a plot with twists and turns.
Is this a roller coaster or a movie?
Number 4, we need heavy themes.
I was not ready to have a crisis today.
And number 5, we need a thrilling ending.
What's the opposite of an adrenaline shot? Because I need one. So, getting into morally complicated main character. Nightcrawler's main character, Lewis Bloom, is not so much morally complicated as much as he is morally bankrupt, okay? He is willing to do whatever it takes to make money. And by that, I mean he just doesn't care to commit murder by proxy. Just to get rid of an employee, by the way, while getting footage to sell. He is so fucked up morally that he thinks that kind of stuff is okay. Dragging a body is okay. And all of this just so he can sell footage. And he's willing to lie for no reason.
Dude, can you imagine if, like, when you got fired, you had to worry about your boss killing you and then making money off of your corpse?
Jesus Christ.
Like, holy shit.
Is that what's going on here?
I think so.
Which one of us is the boss? Oh, no.
I don't want to step into the position, but if duly elected, I'd be willing to take things, where they had to go to get us to the top, Dave.
I'm going to be dead afterwards.
You're replaceable. So, in Falling Down, we're dealing with a man whose moral complications have to be looked at kind of through the lens of an early 90s person, Because by today's standards, Bill is not morally complicated. Bill's an asshole.
That's so true.
But the 90s saw a lot of cultural change that left people like Bill stuck in a 50s sitcom feeling lost. And this is, to be clear, this is not me empathizing with that because, again, Bill sucks. But through his character, I think lots of people of a certain generation were able to kind of see themselves and wrestle with that moral implication of a changing society and where they fit into it. And it's compelling, and I can see why at the time it really struck a nerve with people.
Yeah, it definitely had to have struck a nerve with people at the time because their minds were off the deep end, really, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is a dark movie.
Yes.
And honestly, I think that can kind of get us to our next point, which is dark subject matter. So Falling Down is obviously a very dark movie, despite it taking place on a very sunny Los Angeles day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I did it. I know. I had to. I fucking wrote that down, too.
I'm only mad that I didn't think of it first.
That was a Dave joke for sure. At first, though, we don't know where Bill is going or why, but as the movie slowly reveals itself, we kind of discover that it's about an asshole who wants to kill his wife and daughter on her birthday because he can't be bothered to go to therapy.
Just go to therapy, Bill.
Just go to therapy. On top of that, he's executing Nazis, phone booths, the clear line separating breakfast and lunch hours, you name it.
I'm telling you.
Shit is bleak, Dave. This is a tough movie to sit through.
Very tough movie. Not as tough as Nightcrawler, though, because the subject matter doesn't get much darker than in Nightcrawler. I mean, we watch crimes, accidents, murders, which are different than crimes, apparently, blackmail, the news. I mean, come on. It's all very, very dark. Not to mention the fact that Lou just forces his way into multiple situations that are ghastly as hell. This movie is so dark, and I am so thoroughly uncomfortable multiple times in it that I'm gonna need some kind of muscle relaxer to unclench.
Oh, dude, I get it. Because, like, literally just the idea of a Nightcrawler, somebody who goes and films these horrible accidents and stuff for the news, is dark in and of itself.
Yes.
But then taking that concept and making your character just turn it up to 11 and just, like, crank those screws tighter and tighter and just toe all those awful lines, it's just gross. It's tough to, I love this film, to be clear. I love this film. I think it's great. But it is a very tough and dark ass watch, it has this everywhere. It has this all over the city, just like all these things are happening all the time.
Yes, and it's actually helps us get into our next point, a plot with twists and turns. The plot in Nightcrawler is not so much twisty and turny as much as it is a rapid acceleration off the cliff of insanity.
It is. It feels like falling down the stairs.
Though we do have twists and turns with things like cut the brake lines of a competitor's van, which I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Lying to his employee just to get him murdered, which was a shock to me. And allowing multiple people to die just to get footage. All of which like I said, I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
But I was not surprised by it in any way, shape, or form.
And that's what I think makes it such a great narrative. It's like, it's shocking, but not necessarily surprising. Like, it doesn't come out of nowhere. There's a natural arc to all of Lou's insanity.
Yes.
And it culminates in all these things that, like, just where you think it's going, it's exactly where it ends up.
Oh, yeah.
But like I mentioned with my last point, Falling Down's plot does some interesting things here that kept me horrified and pretty engaged through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really know what's going on at first. It starts in a way that empathizes with Bill, right? Then gets worse and worse. Like, it draws you in until it turns the spotlight right back on you.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, we get a bazooka.
Everybody wants bazookas.
Everybody wants bazookas. We have no idea where Bill's going to turn up next, you know, who he's going to hurt, and most importantly, will Bill ever get his breakfast on? I'm just in a constant state of suspense.
Listen, a lot of things are weighing on me in this movie, and the one that weighs on me the most is, did he get his breakfast?
We're moving on to heavy themes. So the themes in Falling Down definitely hit in a very heavy way. Looking at the time it was made, we're dealing with like mental health, fragile masculinity, misogyny, racism, classism, capitalism,
all of it.
You name it, dude. Its whole thing is like a microcosm of all of this. And the thing that makes it all the more sad is that 30 years later, there's, you know, nothing that has really changed that much. So thanks for nothing, Michael Douglas. Get off your ass and fix society already.
Damn it.
This is your fault.
Because lies solely on your shoulders.
Exactly. Thank you, Dave.
I will say, though, I think the heavy themes in Nightcrawler are maybe not so much bigger, but they are more obvious. I mean, the one that you have the most is how the news is like a morally bankrupt thing, and we all just kind of ignore it and take it in anyway. And they're also just willing to pay money for footage of dead people just to scare people into watching their broadcasts more. And you also got the fact that money drives people to do absolutely abhorrent things. And by money, I mean late-stage capitalism. And listen, Lou moves a dead body just to get a better shot to make more money on the footage.
Not even that. He withholds evidence of a brutal crime and then uses it to set up his own mini movie to get more footage and money out of this thing. People die in the process, and he's like, cha-ching.
Oh my God. He's waiting for people to die so he can film it.
And the way everything just culminates like towards that big ending just blows my freaking mind.
I'm glad you brought up endings, because I want to get to the next point, thrilling endings.
Let's do it.
Honestly, the ending in Nightcrawler is so thrilling, I felt like I was going to throw up.
True.
Lou creates a fucking shootout, a car chase, gets his employee murdered, gets interrogated before ultimately being rewarded for the horrible things he's done. So it's thrilling in a way that a roller coaster is to someone who gets motion sick.
I can vouch for that firsthand.
Yes.
Not thrilling at all. But Falling Down has a whopper of an ending, full of squirt guns, tubular meat, and the ocean. You know, like all the essential ingredients for a good climax. And a good time, to be clear. But the standoff at the end is really tense. You know, it's Bill, Beth, and his daughter, and we're wondering, like, what's going down. And then, when Prendergast gets there, everything culminates into, like, this faux duel where Bill takes a bullet instead of facing consequences of his own actions like a real man. And if there's one thing I know, Dave, it's real men. This ending is, don't think about it too much.
Okay.
This ending is really great, though, honestly, and it wraps a lot of things up and gives us more insight into Bill right before his stupid, stupid death.
He is such a dickhead, and he just gets away with it, sort of, a little.
He pretty much does get it. Him and Lou technically kind of both get away with it.
Yes.
I mean, Bill dies, but, like, he never has to face any consequences.
I mean, death isn't necessarily a consequence.
Not for him, obviously. No. Man came out blazing with the squirt gun. Like, he was praying for death.
Yeah, he was definitely praying for the end. I'm also praying for the end of this episode, so.
I bet. I feel terrible, dude. I need a couple weeks off after this one.
I really need to shower. So let's get to the finish line so that I can get into the fucking shower and wash this gross off me.
Yeah, I can smell you from here.
Hey, look, we did it. It's the finish line. We're at the finish line. Can I go home yet? Alright.
Oh, Dave. We've come to the finish line. We've made it. And we have two really great movies on our hands. Two pretty dark, pretty thrilling films that we have to decide which one wins the, again, coveted, very coveted, the most coveted title of First Prize Film.
It's the first prize of First Prize?
Email me. I'll I'll send you a gift card.
Listen, getting right into it, I thought Falling Down was it was good. It was a good movie. It was engaging. It really sucked you in, and it made you uncomfortable with how fucking Karen-y Bill was. I mean, there's a couple of times where you were like, yeah, fast food burgers are flat. But
let's commit a felony.
I feel that way every time they put tomatoes in something when I ask for no tomatoes.
Me too.
I gotta say though, Nightcrawler just feels darker, and it feels more insidious and disgusting. And I don't think that Falling Down is as dark or as necessarily thrilling. So I'm just gonna have to say my pick for first prize film for dark thrillers is Nightcrawler. I'm just gonna come out with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any bad choices here because again, both films are very tense, very grueling to get to, and you don't really know which way they're going to go. You have unhinged people at the forefront of these films, and it's just like a horrible Los Angeles nightmare, you know? It is. And like where Nightcrawler is about like the dark side of building the American dream, Falling Down is about that dream blowing up in your fucking face when you feel entitled to it. To counter your point, I was pretty thrilled with Falling Down. I was honestly pretty tense. I didn't know where it was going. Like a lot of movies, you can kind of feel the structure and you know where he's trying to get and you know where he's eventually going to end up. But like the path he took to get there was bonkers. Exactly. I had no idea what was going to happen in this movie, and it really kept me on the edge. But I think for me, while both are horrifying, honestly, I think Nightcrawler is kind of the more insidiously horrifying and dark thrilling film, I guess, if you want to call it. I love the way its narrative is kind of handled because we feel like we're right there with Lou, you know, and in his head a bit, but unable to stop him. Whereas like with Falling Down, Falling Down felt a little more hands off.
Yeah, I agree. And also to kind of bring up another point, with Nightcrawler, we never really leave Lou's brain.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing is from his perspective. But with Falling Down, we take a break from Bill's insanity to go, you know, over to see Prendergast's side of the story. And I feel like that doesn't necessarily detract from the thrillingness of it, but I do think it does detract from the darkness just a teensy bit.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And where I do think Falling Down is very effective, I'd say for my money, Nightcrawler takes the cake. It's a film that has stayed with me ever since I saw it, and Falling Down will stay with me. But to your point, we are just there with Lou. We are there, we can't escape, and I feel like trapped in a car, you know, speeding down the highway that, you know, who knows where it's gonna go. And I really like it. So for me, that's where I gotta go. But kudos to both films because I really enjoyed both of these viewing experiences.
Too, yes, I agree.
So
100%.
I'm glad. This has been a very mutual episode, Dave. I feel closer to you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna break your legs as soon as I thought, but don't overcharge me for a Coke, huh? Is it breakfast yet?
With that being said, I really need the shower now. I feel so grody after these.
Going on and on and on about the shower, okay? Get on board, sponge bath time.
It's harder to deal with hot dogs with the sponge bath.
Yeah, but we gotta go. I have a game of shuffleboard later with Martha and Ted. We gotta finish our 1,000-piecer. That's sitting on the community table.
When did you get so old?
I love applesauce now.
Hey, First Prize listeners, thanks for tuning in this week. Thanks for getting dark and gross with us. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed hearing us get uncomfortable as hell, consider subscribing to our socials. It's at First Prize Pod on all platforms, and that includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok and YouTube as well. Also, don't forget to check out our website. It's firstprizefilms.com.
Yep, we do this for free because we robbed a McDonald's for not serving me the omelet I was craving. But if you'd like to still support us, consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or come hang out on Twitch. We stream every week, talking about movies, having some laughs, and chatting with all of you.
It's a really good time. Join us next week as we give ourselves brain damage with these boxing movies.
You bet we will.
Yes.
We're talking about $1 Million Baby from 2004 versus Rocky, 1976.
Yeah, I'm ready to have some serious brain damage.
I already pre-ordered my casts. I'm ready to go, Dave.
Great.
I heard all over.
I already forget what day it is. See ya!
Bye ya. So Bill kills this Nazi dressed up as a thrift store. Oh, shit. So Bill kills the Nazi dressed as... Nope. So Bill kills the... See you next week.
Wait, there is no next week. Come back.
I'm leaving.